Good afternoon, traders. Hope you guys are having a wonderful time wherever you are. Have a great weekend. Last week was amazing for us. We got some really nice trades. This was one of the trade we got, and on all the pound pairs, we've got some really amazing trades during the news. We got this trade. We got in back there. We closed it. We have an entry under the low. So there are a number of amazing trades we got last week. The patterns are very clear and simple. All right, so let's go. Good afternoon once again. I think all of you know who I am, Anil Mangal. If you're watching my video for the very first time, please go to my channel, watch more of the videos, understand the method I use. It's called wave analysis, and it's kind of a variation of Elliott wave, but it's something I created in my own, and it's pretty much looking at patterns more than labeling and what is going to happen. We just follow patterns. We know how they behave and what we can do with them, right? So let's start. Dollar index. I hope you guys like it. Please share it. For those of my YouTube viewers who are going to be watching this and not in my group, please share it. And please write your questions as well. Somebody sent me a very nice question in YouTube saying they can't understand the strategy I'm trying to teach you. Well, I'm not teaching you any strategy, just to be clear, right? All the strategies I teach is in my group. If you want to join me, you can join us by sending me a message on Skype or on Facebook, but you could better to do it on Skype. You get faster reply. It's MANGAL 457. If you don't have Skype, it'll take you 3 minutes to download. Send me a message. I'll send you all the details on how you can join our group, right? And then you will learn all the strategies, and you'll learn money management, you'll learn trade management, you'll learn a lot more than simply the analysis I give you. So let's go, dollar index. Like I said last week, we were watching this pattern to see what it's doing at this top, and it's consolidating. Great. If it consolidates, it's more upside. Now, we're looking for more upside here, but I don't think this is the one that will break out. I believe we might stay in this consolidation for a while. So I'm seeing something like this, but not as big as this one, but more of some consolidation in here and then a continuation to the upside. Go to the 1 hour. The trade I'm looking for is any buy setup I can get. Now, when you're in a consolidation like this, they don't, it's up and down and up and down. So I could probably see something like this going back to the top, coming back down, and then probably break out. I'm looking for a simple flat in the middle. Now, what if this goes down? Well, we will be trading it down. It means this piece is not completed as yet, but it will go back up, it will come back down, and then go. Right? So you're in a consolidation. Consolidations, you have to wait until the patterns complete themselves, then you can trade. But if you have the skill level to understand and to forecast what pattern is inside of that consolidation, it becomes easy to trade. So let's go. Silver. Silver drops somewhat, not very much. We drop a little, and they're consolidating here. As you can see, we're selling it already. I'm not sure whether this sell is going to drop, simply because we still have this sharp wave here. So if this starts to go back up, we will be looking for a buy setup to retest that up. In the big picture, it will eventually come back to this level. Now, I've shown that before. I've shown it in gold. I've shown it in silver. We're in a big sideways move. This is a big sideways move. We're in this range. And I don't think it's completed because there's a very big flat here. The way we look at patterns, if you have that big consolidation looking there, it's hardly the impulse. These are impulses. See how sharp they are with very small corrections in them? When you have this, what you're making is a corrective structure. So it doesn't matter if this comes here. It will likely come back here before it goes. That's all. So if you understand the way it behaves, then you decide, well, okay, it could go up, it could come down. Let's see which way it's going now, and let's trade the pieces we have now. So we traded this down, we traded that down. We actually got this trade from the top coming down. We got this one, and this was a trade on Friday. I think my traders would have closed the trade because it's still volatile. Close it. Watch this pull back. If we get a running flat, we'll still be selling. But as you can see, if this comes back to the top and continue to do this, then what will happen is this will break out of this structure, and this would be an amazing trade. So the trade to the downside are very short term within this move. Eventually, you'll make a flat here, especially if it comes lower like this. Go back up there, make a flat and drop. So the question you have to ask yourself is, do you have the skill level to sell this, buy this, and sell this? If it does this. And what are the chances it can do that? And if it does that, can you trade in that range, understanding when the turning points are coming? If you can do that, great. That's what we do every single day in our trading room. 5-6 times a day, we get into that trading room, and that's what we do, right? There are hundreds of traders in my room. So at any one time, you will get 10 to 20 to 30 traders in the room. Most times it's an average of 10 to 15 because of the different time zones we're in. Gold, same here. If you can remember, everybody thought the world was thinking that, oh my God, gold is a safe haven. We're all going to be buying gold now. Let's go buy gold. It's going to go to, I don't know, 3,000, 5,000, one got said 2005. Well, it's still in the range. I showed you that range and it's still within the range. Nothing happened. Don't get carried away with the news of the day, right? Because that is not what is happening. There are bigger things happening in the world. There's so much things happening that has its impact and its influence on the price of these things, which is manipulation. Manipulation might be the biggest thing you have to be careful of. All of that is priced in if you focus on the charts. Because the movement, these are real stats. These are not what somebody said or somebody's emotion. These are real stats. So if you focus on that, you will get a picture of what's happening. Now it's coming back down and you can see it's coming sharp. Now I believe at some point we'll get a correction like this. We might start to see a correction like this before it drops again, after which we'll likely go back up, come back down, and maybe then take off. So we might be in this range for quite some time. If you look at the range this way, you're looking at one move down and you're looking at one move up. The only question you have is this move up completed? Now, again, I don't think it's completed the way I look at patterns. I think this is an incomplete pattern. But we can still trade it. You can still trade every bits and pieces of it. So in the 4 hour, we're trading it down. In the 1 hour, we're trading it down. This one was a quick move that broke, come back. You can close that trade for positive. It's coming down, so I think this should be a correction. This is a sell. If we get another flag here, we sell. But we'll be careful that this move is eventually going to go back up there, just like the silver. This might be a flat like this. See, 1, 2, 3, go back up, make a flat drop. So if we get this flat and I get a flag here, we're going to sell. We sold that one. We sold this one. We're going to sell flags going down here. Right, those were sells that we had. If you go back and you watch, I think maybe last week I showed that sell possibility. So we're going to be looking right now. If you get sells in this one, you can take it, but you have to be careful that they're not big moves coming here because this would eventually have to go back, right? If this gives you a flag, it's a short drop, and then eventually it will go back to the top. Can you buy this? Absolutely. But when it breaks the stop, you'd have to be careful that it might come back down. I'm expecting a flat here and then go down. That is if it makes a simple flat. Again, when you deal with patterns, they can be simple, they can be complex. If you're updating your charts 5 times a day, you get to see every single bits and piece of those patterns as it develop, and you know how to trade it. So let's go. This one is totally sell. We're selling this. If you remember, we told you when this come here to the top, it is going to go back down. It's doing that already. I don't see this going up more. I see it coming down to about this level here. Maybe break the low and then go back up. So any sell setup we get, we're taking it, and there were a number of sell setups. You can see that. This was Friday's sell. If we get another flag, we'll sell again. At some point, it will make a deeper correction. So you'll have to exit the sells, right? And then maybe even a buy setup will happen because they will make deeper correction as it goes down. So at some point it will stop and it will make a correction for about a week, maybe 2 weeks, and then it's going to continue to go down. See, this was a small correction. These are small ones. It might still make a flag drop, but then it's going to start to make a big correction, after which it's going to drop again. So if you can see when that is coming, you exit your trades, you might even get into buys. You might be buying this sometime. Since you trade daily and your trades are day trading, not long-term trading, not investment, then it's easy to do. Euro, good. So we've got to move up. We were trading this up. It made a move down. It made a correction up. We started trading this move down back because we expect this to be a running flat. All right, so there's a good chance you'll make a pullback here. You might drop a little more. If this proves what we think it is, again, if it proves to be what we think it is, a running flat, then that's amazing. This piece will probably make some consolidation here on the 1 hour, a flat, small one like this. See this flat here? Make something like that. And then if we get that, we'll take one more trade down, drop to the bottom, and then go back up. So for this week, a little down, a little up. And if this proves what I think it is, we might drop. See? So it is going in a sideways move, but you can trade it. We are already trading it. Pong gave us some really amazing trade. We actually traded this Pong down on the news. We actually got that. We got it on many of the Pong pairs as well. The trade we got to the downside was this drop. We exit the trade because when you get something like that, it is going to make a correction. As a matter of fact, it's making a flat. 1, 2, 3. I think this flat here is going to come back down here. And then we're going to go up. I'm looking at this. See this 1, 2, 3. An up move, an up move. Actually, this up move ended there. 1, 2, 3, another up move. So there might be a sell setup here on Monday. If you can get it, if you see it, and if it's a proper sell setup, you can get a sell on Monday. Even if this goes and break the top, right? Let's assume this consolidator go break the top. Once it breaks this top, it will eventually come back here before it go. We'll be looking at a running flat pattern, just like this. See, we broke the top, but then we came down, and that's your buy. So we might get a sell and we might get a buy here. Looking for this trade. This one is pretty easy to trade now. When they make patterns that are so known to you, that are so familiar to what we do, it's easy to trade them. So we will be looking first. There is no setup in it right now. We'll be looking for a sell setup first and then a buy setup. Aussie. Okay, so remember, I don't know when this was, but when it comes to this level, when we traded that down to this level, it was going really fast. And what we did is exit the trades here because at some point, it's either going to make a bigger consolidation here if it's going to drop, or it's going to reverse to retest the top. It reverses, it's retesting the top. Now, here's what you have to look at the Aussie. I think if you remember last year, not this year, last year, January or something, when this was going up, before it went up, if you can go back and search my webinar, I did one webinar on all the Aussie pairs. And all the Aussie pairs. Go back and watch it, about a year or so back. I actually did this up move and I said, all of them will go up, break out of this, consolidate, and then continue to go back up. Go watch it, it's interesting. You will see all the Aussie pairs there, right? Interesting how these analyses work. So that's not a trading, that's analysis, long-term analysis. So what we did is we traded up, we traded this down, we traded up, we traded down, we're trading this up now, and we're trading it up and down because we trade within a day. So for me, this is an entire trend we are trading up. We traded this move down, as you can see, right? From this line here, that we traded that down. When it comes to this level, here's the thing now. We're breaking out of this structure, see that? That by itself doesn't mean anything. Don't take that as anything. It doesn't really mean anything because this could become some kind of a more complex pattern, right? And it could still go down. But when it starts a breakout, you have to assume that they're going to take off. So if it is going to take off, we definitely want to be in that trade. All I wanted to do was reverse this impulse. We did that already. See, this line was to show you we reversed that impulse. Make a flat. We got in the trade, we got out of the trade. And now it's actually going back up, right? So we got into this one, which we closed. You'd see, these are very short-term trades, right? So you get in, this one did go, come back up, you close that trade. This might have been a break-even trade or a small loss even possible in that. And now we've got this. We've got a big one here and we've got a big one going up. Great. Any move here, here's where we're going to go. Any move within this range, come back, consolidation, we're buying. Now, you might want to look at this as an expanding flat. It's possible. We'll keep that open. I'm not keep calling it an expanding flat here because I think there's a possibility this might be a bigger running flat, which means if you get a breakout here and it doesn't go, don't panic. It's going to come back here and go there. We're looking for this. I would like to see this happen. And if that happens, that means it's totally upside, right? It's going to go and it is breaking out of the bigger daily structure. So that might be total upside, especially if we break through these tops, right? If we break through all the tops that we have, we're going to just be taking off to the upside really fast. I'm looking for more buy setups. You still have to be careful when you break this top, because if they're still going to go down, when they break that top, it will turn. Right? So if when it breaks the top, we see it turning, with a flag or a correction, we'll be selling. Again, like I said, when you're doing forecasts for longer term, you have to do it on the bigger charts. When you're doing forecasts for short-term trading, daily trading, you have to do it 3, 4, 5 times a day, which is what we do in our trading room. I can't give you that 3, 4, 5 times, because if I tell you this is going up and it breaks the top and it comes back down, we will be selling it, but that's not something I can tell you now. We have to wait until it breaks the top. We have to wait to see if it gives a reversal sign, and then we have to see if we get a setup for sales. Now, that is possible, as well as the continuation to the upside. So we're right now looking for the buy setup. If you get a flag here, we'll buy. And it's making a flag, so that will be a buy setup. With that flag there, we'll probably put an entry above the top for the buy. Now, you still have to be careful of the buy, right? Because once they break this top, the chances are they can turn. If this pattern is going to go down, if they're going to go down more to retest these lows, right? It's going to turn. We don't know for a fact that they're not going to go down more. That's the unknown part of it, right? It can just continue to go up. It can make a new high and turn again. So we'll keep an eye on it. We'll be looking for buy setups, and we'll see what that goes. Same thing with New Zealand. It's going up. We bought this. We actually bought that and closed it. We bought this and closed it. The sell as well. We got tagged in the sell here. We closed it. We put it here. We got tagged. We closed it. This one, I don't know. I don't think we took that trade. We were trying to stake it, but it was Friday afternoon. I don't know if anybody took it. But if they took it, you close it somewhere here, right? So if you got in the trade like this and it didn't go, you close it here. You're not keeping these trades, right? It's too short and it's very short term. Now, can we look at this as an expanding flat? Also the same thing, but we might as well just keep it and wait to see whether this makes a bigger running flat. So wait here. I would not be going into the buy and this is yet until we get a very good flag, or until it pulls back, make a running flat, and then go. That would be the trade setup. But putting an entry order now on it is not a good idea. This one is still in the downtrend, and that is why this one I'll have to be more careful with, right? See, that made a 1, 2, 3. A big correction. 1, this could be 2, this could be 3. I'm not taking the small corrections inside, right? Not taking that one. So this could break this top here for 2. Come down back here for 3, like this, and then go up. So when you break this top, you have to be careful. If it is going to take off, it's going to break out of the structure. So if you get the buy setup, you should take it, which means if we get the buy setup, we'll take it. But we'll have to manage that trade right to the top here, because you're not going to get the big move you're looking for. If it's going to go back down, it's just going to break the top slightly and turn, you have to get out of the trade. But if it is breaking out of the structure, well, good for you, right? So you would have to keep an eye on this for the buy setup. I think we're getting a buy setup there on the 15, wait for a 1 hour flag and then buy it. I'll probably buy the Aussie because the Aussies are already out of the structure. And I'll just wait for this to break the top, make another flag and then buy. Confirm that they're going up more. CAD coming down again. We're still in the big sideways. I did one on the CAD where I showed you on the daily structure, this big move to come. That has not changed. Nothing has changed for this move to go back up. It just hasn't gone as yet. When I did it, we were in this sideways consolidation, right? We broke out, we came back down, we broke out, we came back down. So now we're in a bigger consolidation. That's all. This move is still coming. Nothing has negated that. And if we're lucky, it could be the move that goes straight to the top. If not, they'll come here and they'll come back down to this level and probably do a few of this, probably like this one. I'm looking for something like that, and then it's going to drop. So if we see this here, we know it's going to drop, but we're still looking for the buy setup, which is a big trade to the upside. And the lower it goes, the better that trade becomes, right? Now, the question is, if this piece that is consolidating, can we break this low? Yes, you can break that low. If this goes and break that low, what we will have is a 1, 2, 3. Now that just complicates the thing, because if you get a 1, 2, 3 here and we're like this, the chances are we might go back up here, come back down, and then go. So we might be stuck in this range for a while before that big move to the upside comes. Doesn't matter. We will look for sell setups here. We'll look for buy setups up. We'll look for sell setups down. Then look for buy up, as long as you can identify the range you're in. Sometimes you wouldn't get a single trade in it, and that's okay. As long as it keeps doing what you think it's going to do, or the way you see the pattern, you will eventually get a trade, right? So if we get a flag, there was a flag that broke out. Wait, if you get another flag, you sell. What if it's turning from this point to go up? Any buy setup will take. What would be the buy setup? As the guy said, I don't understand your strategy. I'm not giving you my strategy, but I can give you an idea. If this goes up here, make a flag, I'm buying. See, it's pretty easy. This is not the strategy. The strategy is more detailed as to how you enter, when you enter, where your stop should be, how you calculate your risk. I'm just giving you an idea how I would get into a buy. And if I would take a sell, if I see a flag. Yen, yes. Remember what I said when it's going to come. And I did a yen trade, yen video. If you haven't seen it, you should go watch it and you should share it, because it's interesting how analysis works. So what we were saying, what I was telling in one of my videos, is that this would come and break the top here. And I actually did it from here. We were in this consolidation and said it's going to go break the top. And one trader's vow that if this ever happened the way I said it should happen, he's going to stop trading. Again, I'm repeating it for him. You shouldn't stop trading. You just need to join my group. Send me a message. I'm waiting for your message so that you can learn to trade. Right? You don't have to stop trading. There's no need to hold on to your word. I'm not holding you against it. I know you don't know wave analysis, but you can learn it. And you might be one of the very best traders in the world. Who knows? So here's what we are expecting now. At some point, this stops. Where it's going to stop, we don't know. There's no point that where it can stop. People can tell you anything they want, but there's no point where it has to stop. I also said it could become a running flat. So one trader didn't get that point. He thought I thought this would be a running flat. No, what I said is if it breaks this stop. Let me put that in a weekly so you can see it. This is the weekly impulse down. So if we break that weekly top, what I said is if we break this top, then it will still go up, but now it's going to be a running flat. It's going to come here and then go up without breaking the low. So you see the way I draw the pattern is I'm looking for it to come here and then go up, which is not breaking the top. That's a regular flat. But if it goes break the top, then we will have a running flat here on the monthly. I hope that cleared it up for you, right? So now we have broken the minimum requirement. We've broken this top. That's the minimum requirement for the pattern to be completed. So we actually have a pattern. We actually have a pattern. Sorry, my phone was on there. I should have taken it off. Yeah, we have a pattern, as you can see, right? It's completed. Now, all you have to wait is for this to stop. So you should not be in the sell as yet. One trader wrote he's already in the sell, which is wrong because we are buying this. You can see that we're buying this. And if it makes a flag here, we will buy. And if it makes another flag, we will buy. Eventually, until we get a reversal, get a flag or a correction, and then sell. And that is what we will do. Eventually, it will turn. You don't know where it's going to turn. It could turn anywhere between here and the break of this stop. That's a lot of space to the upside. So you shouldn't be selling this yet. Again, what I'm giving you is analysis, not strategy. So I'm showing you how we would trade it, what we are looking for in the bigger picture, what we would wait for in the smaller picture, in the smaller term for this to turn. If you don't have a turn, you keep buying. Swiss, good. We broke the top, we're selling. Very simple. I explained this the last time. This is a big correction. Every time it breaks the top, you sell. We're already selling and we'll continue to sell it. You can see the sell setups are already there. This is just going sideways. You can literally see this, right? It's going sideways, up and down because you're in a correction. This is what the bigger, you can focus on two things. Two things you need to focus on. 1, 2. All of this is a mess. It has to come back here and then it can go back up there. See how easy it becomes? And I can show you that pattern in this very chart. I don't know, about 50 times if you want. I'm just going to show you it once, right? Because we don't have enough time for me to show you 50 times. So 1, 2, up, right? 1, 2, down. See? So this is 1, that is 2, down. And then that is 1, this is 2, up. You can do it for the upside, you can do it for the downside. Look at this piece. 1, see that flat in the middle there? Up. That is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Continue. I can do this forever. It happens all the time. So what you're looking for when you break those stops are sell setups. We're getting sell setups, we're selling it. I expect this to go back pretty low. Can we stay in this consolidation for a longer period of time? Can it don't come out of it? Can we come back to this bottom here like this? Go back up to the top, come back here, go back up there for a while before they break down? Possible. You'll just have a very, very, very complex pattern in here. But every time you break the top, you start selling. Every time you come to the low and you turn, you start buying. So right now we will see whether we get this move down or whether we're still part of the correction. But it's a sell setup back to these lows. Go to the 1 hour, find a flag, sell it. It's that simple. So we sold this one. You see this flat here, we're selling this one. And if they make another flag here, you sell and you sell and you sell as you go down. Eventually you'll get a deep pullback. You close all the trades, re-enter. EURUSD sell setup. There isn't a really good trade to sell here. I wouldn't advise to sell. If it's going to be a sell, you want it to make a deeper correction. It could still go back up as an expanding flat. So you want a deeper correction before you start selling it. Euro New Zealand, same here. This could still be a big flat here. Go back up. Or this could be 1, 2, 3. I don't like that 1, 2, 3. This one is too sharp. If that is a 1, 2, 3, this would come back and retest the low again before they go back up. I don't think we're going to retest the low. I'm more inclined to believe this would be an expanding flat and go up. So let's see which one we get. If we do get a consolidation here, we will sell it with caution. But if I get a reversal with a flag, we're absolutely buying. Any buy setup I get in this thing, I will take. The sell setups, I'll take it with caution. EuroCAD. We took the sell, we close it. Even before that pullback, we closed it because you're expecting a 1, 2, 3, which you got. I remember I should just showed you that 1, 2, 3 magic. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. We were expecting this to go back up, and then we're 1, 2. We're expecting this to come back down, and then 1, 2, 3 up back again. Now that looked really, really simple when I show you. I'm pretty sure you look at that and say, well, I could do that. That's pretty simple. It's simple when I show you because you can see it. But if I take everything out and I said, okay, you do it, that's where it becomes really difficult. And I know that because I train traders to trade. And we have an ongoing course that is almost completing itself now. It's a 6-week course, started a month or so back. And you can see the difference, right? When you train traders, you see how what they think was so simple becomes very complicated when they have to do the practical part. When I said, okay, take a chart and show me how you see it. That's where you see the difference, right? So when I do it, it looks simple because it is not simple because I've got so much experience and I've done so much of it. I can see it very clearly, right? I created this method that I'm using, this type of wave analysis that I'm using. It's not Elliott wave analysis, it's different. So you can see it pretty clear, right? Same here, we bought this and it's turning. You can't sell this until you get a good correction. This was a small one, but if they make any other correction here, you can sell. Now this is pretty sharp. That move is really sharp if you look at it, right? Look at the 4 hour. It's really sharp. So there's a good chance when you get such sharp move, you get deep corrections, right? When you get a sharp move like that, you started to get deep corrections here like this. You make a big flat here. You spend a long time in here before you go back up. So I wouldn't be surprised if this starts to go up and down like this, and then we go. Because I think this might be the first impulse of a long drawn out correction. Any long drawn out correction will start with a single impulse, right? So if you're looking at this one, this long drawn out correction here, see this long drawn correction, it started with a single impulse. And then it pulled back and then it started to do this and then it went back and then it came down. So this first impulse to the downside here could be the start of a long drawn out consolidation. See that? So any sell at the bottom there, you have to be very, very cautious. What I would wait for is for it to make a correction up first and then look for sells and see whether it's going like this or whether it's going like this. Which of those two is happening, right? That's what you have to be careful of. Yen. Euro yen, that's a buy, and we're still buying. We have an entry right above the top. It looks like it's on it, but it's at the top of it. This was a buy here. There was a buy here. There was another buy here. This one is closed already. And the entry goes above the top. Based on our strategy, you should close that trade, put an entry above the top. At some point, it is going to make a deeper correction before we go break this top. So once we break that top, just like the dollar yen, which already broke the top, I want the euro yen to break this top. That's not a lot to go, very little. Once you break that top, then we will have 1, 2, 3. You can actually come back down. Even if you're making a more complex pattern, if this becomes a more complex pattern, not making, if it becomes a more complex pattern, then when you break this stop, when this stop is broken, it will probably come back here. It could still go back up, then come down here and then go back up. But I think it could also drop straight to the bottom, break this low and then go back up, break that top, make a simple series of simple flats, then come back down. So we have to wait and see. We're going to be trading in a range for this entire year, maybe next year even still within that range, but it's a very good tradable range, right? So there's a buy setup here. If it goes, we will be in that buy. If this comes down again, it's just making bigger corrections for now. Europe, perfect flat. If it breaks out to the upside, we'll buy. If it breaks to the downside, you have to wait for a flag, right? Because if this is going to come back down, it has to make a flag here before you sell. But if it goes back up, we can really get into that buy to continue to go up. I think the upside is most likely. I'm looking at that as a running flat for upside. Okay, we saw this. This is breaking out. We're looking for more sell setups. Very simple. This trade, we are already out of that trade. We'll be looking for an entry somewhere here or even earlier than that if you get a flag earlier than that. But right now, that's a sell setup. And you can see the bigger pattern, right? Why that was a good sell, if you look at it, right? You kind of get 1, 2, 3. It should come back here, even if they're going to go back up, right? Let's say this is going to just break this low and then go back up, which is possible. If it is going to do that, then you can wait for this to break, pull back, close the trade, get into buys, and then get into sells again. This will still be a correction, just a bigger one. As of now, we can assume that the correction is over and we're dropping. Pound New Zealand, same thing, good sell from that point. Stop, close the trade, re-enter here. We close the trade here. We re-enter here. We close the trade in that one. We're looking for an entry here. This is going really slow now. And if it continues to go slow, they're going to go back up. So if it continues to go down slow like that, we'll get a series of break-even trades like this one. That's a break-even trade. Right, this one was a profitable trade. And then if you get a series of break-even trade, then you will expect it to actually go back up again once more. We'll see how that goes. Because we're kind of in a big sideways move here. Pancad, this was a sell here. It came down, you would close the trade. It kind of do this. We didn't do anything because this wasn't showing like it's going to go. But right now we're doing this. See this here? So this can come down a little more, but when you start to see them doing this channeling kind of thing, it's likely they're trying to go up. Momentum is dying. You're getting divergence. You're kind of saying, you know what? This thing can go back up. See that? So remember when we were at the top here, we expected to come and break this low. You can see that they made a move down. They go back up. They made a move down. They go back up. They made a move down. Well, there's a likely chance you could be going back up. There's a very high probability for upside on this, which means at this level, we'll be very cautious about any sell setup and keep an eye more for the buy setup. So if you get any buy setup, you'll take it. What does a buy setup look like? If you're asking yourself that, then you need to join my group. So you will see how we look at buy setups. Pound Swiss, we're selling. It still has some more to go. I think they will probably drop to about this level and maybe then go back up. You can see the channel is pretty clear. They're kind of in this channel, which should go back up. Now, what if they're going to go back up from this point? If this becomes a big consolidation, we'll just consolidate, go here and still drop. See this one here? That's a big consolidation. Move in, consolidate, drop, consolidate, drop. I think most likely we'll drop again once more. So any sell setup is a trade, which you're getting right now. Right, if this consolidates some more, and if this consolidating, that would be a sell setup right now. Pound Yen. Well, we might be coming out of that sideways move now. You can see we're in a sideways move. At this point, this piece could either break out or just come to the top there and come right back down there to make a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You'll probably get this. If this is a consolidation of its own, that is the top. This is 1, 2, 3, then we go break the top. So it's literally going sideways. What's the trade at the top here? This will pull back. This will likely pull back, make a flat, make a new high. That's a buy setup. From this point, we'll see the turn. At some point, it might very likely come back down because they're still in the sideways move. We haven't broken out of the sideways move as yet. Aussie N, more upside. I think this one was a little surprise to me that they went so far because I wasn't expecting this consolidation here to go so much above it. I thought they'll just break the top, come back here and then go. Well, this went quite a lot. Now, if you're going to trade it anymore, when it moved that much, if you still want to trade to the upside, you want a deeper correction to go. So if I'm going to continue to trade this up, I want this to actually make a correction like this. And like I said, you know what? Yeah, this is going to continue to go. Can it come back to this level and then go? Well, we were expecting that in the first place, right? We were expecting it to come back down because I didn't see this as the start of the impulse. So in this big sideways move, I still think this one is very corrective. Breaking the top is not an issue. They can come back like this and then continue to go, making a running flat here. So we'll have to wait and see. Either I get a flag at the top or a 4-hour correction at the top and we start buying, or they pull back, drop to the low, and then go back up. Aussie, New Zealand, well, this is just going sideways. You might get some short-term buy. It's not worth it. Aussie, Swiss, we broke out, clearly out of the structure. The only thing I'll be careful of here, and that is why we're looking for a sell setup here. It's not theirs yet, but I'm looking at this and say that is sharp, this is sharp. This is very much correction. So this should come back here, make a flat, go back up, maybe drop some more and then go. Now that's a long, complex pattern I'm looking at, but we're still in this consolidation, right? We made a move up and we're in the consolidation. Right? Can this actually even come back here and then go and then come back and go and then come back and then say, okay, let's drop like this? Possible. So there are many ways how this can develop. What you're looking for is what's the next possible move. When the next possible move looks downside. If this turned out to be a flat, if this here turned out to be a flat, that's a buy. Right now, it's looking like it will be a flat for a buy. So we'll take this off. We're looking for a trade if that was going to drop suddenly. It didn't drop, so we take it off. Aussie CAD, it's a buy. But I think my trade is if you took the trade, you close it for positive, re-enter above the top. New Zealand Swiss. So we're in this big structure, and this could drop anytime. See that? Same like I think we had in the Aussie Swiss with this 1, 2, 3 possibility for a flat. Come back down one more and then go. So this one broke the top. It went a little up, came down back. I think we closed this trade in the trading room itself. And we were there. If you took that trade, you would close it somewhere at the top there. Just a few pips lost. It's actually making a flag here now. It's making a flat. So to come back here and go back up there, you get a flat. That becomes a sell setup. If it is a flat if it is a small flag for downside, if this goes deeper back to the top, we'll wait for it to come down and then we'll be buying. So it all depends on what happens in here before you decide whether you get to buy or you get to sell. New Zealand CAD, it's kind of consolidating. I don't see any trade setup, not for the buy, not for the sellers yet. Most likely the sellers is what I'm looking for. So I'll probably be looking for an entry with a sell under that low. New Zealand yen, this is still buy. All yen pairs are going up. So any buy you get, this is a buy setup. Any consolidation you get, take an next buy. Swiss yen, also breaking out of the top in this big structure, really big. You can see that. So now that it broke the top, can we look at it as it's over, or is it still making something? I still think a running flat is possible. So unless you get a very good flag there for buy setup, you wouldn't take it. If they reverse, you can sell. Cat Swiss, sideways in a very big structure. See, we're sideways in this structure. So there's probably one more impulse up, and then we're coming down back to this level. Because this looks more like a 1, 2, 3. So it will come back down. Again, we're at the top of this structure. You can see it. Right, we're at the top of that. I can't say for sure that that's an ending diagonal. Looks like an ending diagonal, not an ending diagonal, because we don't have all the features for an ending diagonal. It's some kind of a squeeze at the top there. Now, when you're at the top there, what you're going to look for is if they get sell set up, you absolutely take it. Because you're at the top of a structure that looks like it's dying out. So if we get sell set up, we'll take it. No sellers yet. We don't have a sharp impulse. We need a sharp impulse. We need a flag, and then we will sell. So I think this was a buy here or something. I can't remember what that was. We closed that trade in any case. Wait for the sell. So what if they give you a buy setup at the top? If I'm going to buy at the top here, it has to be a much, much, much bigger correction. Something like this before I start buying. Not the small flags. The small flags are too dangerous to buy at the top. And the very last one, we add this again because there's a perfect sell setup there. This is the 1 hour, and that's a perfect sell setup. Just to break the low, take the profit. So in this sideways, you can see coming from the top, something like this, sorry. So if this drop, it drops to this level, take that trade off. Take your profit, wait for the next flag. That's it. So this is the first part of the video. It's finished. I hope you guys enjoyed. The second part will come out tomorrow or Monday. Today's Saturday, right? Maybe tomorrow I'll do it if I have time, or Monday, depending on when you see this video. If you like it, share it. Thank you very much. Bye. Thanks, guys. To some of my guys from the group, some of them turn up for it, which is amazing. I'm disturbing their weekend. So thank you for turning up, guys. I would see all of you later. So I'll close the room for the process. You guys have a great weekend. Sorry to disturb you.